So today we're going to talk about these Live Pro 2 from JBL. A pair of earbuds that are pretty interesting and have quite a few things you might like and another you may not like as well. First, let's talk a little bit about the specs. These earbuds have an outstanding battery life. You can actually get 30 hours from the charging case and 10 hours of continuous playing. Obviously, those 10 hours are going to depend if you have active noise canceling on or at what volume you're using them. That is going to play a very important role on how much battery you're going to get from them. But I would take about from 7.5 hours to 10 hours, which is way better than most earbuds in this price range. Obviously, they also have active noise canceling. They also use 4 microphones to cancel out that noise. They're pretty comfortable. I normally don't use earbuds this type, where they're like in diagonal and they're also like AirPods Pro 2 like. They're not my favorite. I prefer more the small factor. But these are actually quite comfy. I even use them to run with. I use them to go at the gym and I had no issues with them. They also come with a JBL application where you can customize them. You can customize how strong you want the active noise canceling. You can upgrade the firmware. They also have a predetermined equalizer, which you can adapt to whatever type of frequencies you like. But we're going to talk about the sound a little bit further along. Another detail that's not that common amongst earbuds yet, and I don't know why, is they have wireless charging in the bottom, which is something I use quite a bit, and I think a lot of people are going to appreciate as well. Now, what powers these bad boys? Well, they have an 11mm driver, which is common amongst earbuds. It's not that big a deal, but it's in a diagonal. It has to do with the shape they have and how they adapt that shape so they're a little bit sturdier and they don't fall off when you're running. I think they did a pretty good job with that. And the 11mm is maybe something not that special, but is perfectly well tuned by JBL. And I'm going to tell you what that means in a little bit more. They also have Bluetooth 5.2, so one of the most recent versions. It's not the latest one, but again, not bad. Now, what type of audio do you get from these earbuds? Well, I can tell you from my testing, it's a little bit more inclined towards the bass. The bass is pretty punchy and can be a little bit heavy in some songs or some genres, like for example, hip hop or any type of genre where you have a lot of bass. But it's not interfering with the rest of the frequencies. The mids are pretty clean and the vocals are clean enough. So I like the audio on them. You can modify it on the equalizer that comes with the application, but it does a decent job. You can still hear the bass amongst all the other frequencies, no matter how much you play with the equalizer. So these are actually meant for bass heads. So if you like bass, these might be a pretty good option. Now, these earbuds are not perfect either, because there are a couple of things I actually don't like. For example, the tips on them feel pretty flimsy and thin. Sometimes when I take them off, the tips are pointing up forwards, which means they might fall out at some point. Maybe if I'm sweating, maybe if I pull too hard. I think they should be a little bit more thick and feel a little bit more secure, especially considering that the rest of the earbud feels quite premium. I think the only place where they saved up a little bit of money is actually in the tips, and it's a small detail I really don't like. Another detail on these earbuds is that the touch controls are pretty precise, but they're also too sensitive. If you're running and you just push them a little bit towards in, you're going to activate whatever function you have on each earbud, which can be pretty annoying at some points. You can personalize it in the application. You can actually shut some functions off. It's not a deal breaker, but I do think they should take advantage of these earbuds, especially on the stem, like the AirPods Pro 2 do. You press a little bit, you have it on the side, and that way if you're pushing them towards your ear, you're not activating everything and you just do it whenever you want. It makes you a little bit more conscious and makes all your actions a little bit more focused to do whatever you want and not having that many accidental presses, which really can be quite annoying. But overall, I think these are a solid pair, especially if you want a good application, you want comfortable earbuds, you want this type of earbud that's actually with a little stem, you want excellent noise canceling, which is way better than most earbuds at this price range. The active noise cancellation also has an intelligent function where it does it on its own. And most earbuds don't do it that well, but these do an outstanding job, and I think that's the part that surprised me the most. For what you're paying, that's actually about 100 to 120 bucks. I think these are quite a steal. But I'm also interested. Would you like to buy these? Or would you prefer something else?